Focus on the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I got your watch list, and it is very simple. The bank stocks are gonna go crazy, and they are most likely going to rip this week. Now, this is my opinion. I will be going both ways on it, and I'm gonna share with you why this week is gonna be so important. But before we do anything, shout out to the random account generator. This is what I want to show you guys. We need to highlight this a little bit more. Jeremy, he had the last pick. It did not hit, but we appreciate your effort. But if you hit this thing, I am going to give you $100. Yes, you have to be randomly selected. We're going to do that in the morning, but right now, post a random option trade. And honestly, just for fun, here's another one. Just anybody who commented on the video yesterday, because I love the weekend video game. King Freight Train, that's all you, baby. You get $100. You got to hit me up, though. So that means you probably have to watch this video, too. So we'll see what happens. But bank stocks, very, very important. I got a strategy. I do got 3 other plays. I mean, one is going to be bank stocks, but then I got 2 others that I'm looking at this week. But now this week is going to be important. So hopefully you watch the weekend video to understand more of the headlines with war and where we're going to go from there. But this week, Tuesday, 2 for Tuesday, I don't know. Tuesday, you're getting the CPI, and this is going to be important. And then Wednesday, Thursday, that's when the bank earnings kick off. And then a lot of the market's going to start responding to earnings. So we're going to go over everything that happened over the weekend. Going to keep it very simple. The main keys for this week, and then the plays that we have and what we did to the portfolio coming into this week. So drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed, and hopefully we see you in the morning. YouTube.com/thestockmarket. First link in the description. We'll see you there. But right off the bat, CPI on Tuesday. Here are the estimates, and this is looking at it month over month. But what I want to highlight here is what the economists are expecting. They are expecting a year-over-year number of 8.3. So last year, I think we were at like 4%, so that makes it like 12 total. But the thing about this, you can see it right there, they are estimating that the March CPI is likely to prove for the peak of inflation this year. So what that means, economists are expecting the highest print on Tuesday, 8.3%, but they are expecting that to be the top number for the rest of the year. So keep that in mind, because it's going to factor in to some of the next ones. But now this is kind of my thesis here with some of the data we've been getting and everything else. That means that CPI will be important, but a lot of eyes are still going to kind of be looking ahead as we get into May, the next CPI report, but then what is the Fed going to do? So I know a lot of people don't like hearing that all the time, but this is very important right here. But that is going to be a major catalyst there on Tuesday, and then Wednesday, that is when the bank earnings are going to come in. So we're going to talk about that when we get into the plays there, because I do have a strategy, but in general, this is the beginning of earnings season. So just keep in mind, depending on how they do, it can kind of kick off some level of attitude in the market. I don't know if that makes sense there, but keep that one in mind. And then other than that, we're just going to get a lot of economic data. Even over the weekend, a lot of stuff was talking about Ukraine and their GDP, as well as what's going on there with the whole food situation. So one of the plays, we're still going to be watching corn and wheat this week, but there's been a lot of those headlines. Other than that, we're going to get a lot of global data. Again, there is like the PPI for us, consumer sentiment, but then the UK, they're going to have one of their Fed meetings. It's not the Fed, but, you know, central bank action. And then we're going to get a lot of other data there. I think like China GDP numbers and stuff like that. But pretty much, or no, it's Germany GDP. There's a lot of economic data around the world. For us, it's just going to be earnings and then CPI on Tuesday. So pretty straightforward. Not too much this week, but now let us talk about the bank stocks and what do we expect. So simply, my logic is this. The banks are going to benefit off of the high yields. And if you haven't noticed lately, the yields have been going up, and at some point, the bank stocks are not reacting like they first did. And even then, you could kind of see the bank stocks, they've kind of been a weak link over the last month or two. But remember, they started off the year very, very good. So pretty much what I'm expecting right now is that the bank stocks haven't been able to react to the higher rates yet until we get earnings. So what I'm expecting, if the earnings do start coming in good, I think we should see a majority of the banks now be able to take off, do their own thing, and respond to to the bond yields. Otherwise, if the earnings come in and confirm that it's negative, well, we're going to have another 3 months now, the bonds or the banks following bonds and then not doing as good. But what I'm trying to say here, there is an opportunity. Now, how am I going to go about playing this? I want to play both ways, but the real strategy or the real opportunity that I am seeing right now, it has to do with the premiums. We have these Wells Fargos. Those are up. I grabbed those after the Fed or the minutes the other day. And then remember, I had a Goldman Sachs put. And this one, we held it before it went up. So what I was doing is noticing the prices. And guess what? From the last week, pretty much short-term calls, they're up in premium about 30%. And then the puts, even longer dated puts on the bank stocks, they are still up as well too. So here's what I'm saying with the opportunity, depending on the first report. Again, Tuesday, I believe, is going to be Goldman Sachs or JP, and then BlackRock, and then Wednesday is those companies, then Thursday, then it's going to be like Wells Fargo, Bank of America. My plan is watch the premiums on the first two. I may play both ways and keep it small, but pretty much after the first bank earnings, I think that will stabilize the premiums on the rest of them, and I think there's going to be a big gap. And now, depending on how BlackRock and Goldman do, we'll be able to go from there and say, okay, I think some of the better banks or the bigger banks will do better, and then if the calls are still cheap, we take advantage, or you might even be able to sell put premium if it's negative, or if we do get a negative idea from it, we can buy some of the options. So I do plan on going both ways. The only bank plays I'm holding now are old Wells Fargo calls, that one that's up, and then a couple of ones that are clapped because of time premium. So we will see what happens, but bank stocks this week, again, even with CPI, I didn't want to make this the title of the video, but I am expecting the market to move at least 2% this week. So we will see what happens, but that is the first play. Then coming into the second play now, I made a play on Walmart and I like it. And this is just related to all the consumer cyclical stuff we've been talking about, or consumer discretionary and consumer sentiment. Again, Friday, we are getting another one of those data points, but Walmart, any of the inflation plays, those are doing very good. I'm sure you've seen Abivai, but now not only Walmart, Altria, they are at that $54 level. We have this in the long term. We've talked about this stock a lot. I've played this a lot. I missed it last week, but I like these levels. If this trend keeps continuing and people go to that stock for a safe haven, I think it could be a really good option flip. So going to be watching that. And then finally, corn and wheat. Like I already showed you, a lot of the Ukraine headlines, there was even people talking about Russia, Ukraine economy. That was another headline that came up, but pretty much after the crop report last week, it seemed neutral, if not negative. A lot of people after the weekend are now leaning negative on it. So we're going to see, but I think this whole week, we're probably going to little by little watch as the food takes over. But oil is going to be a tricky one here, as now Brent is getting dropped off. We saw all the oil moves and people are watching the oil markets kind of level out. So it is going to be an interesting one, but super straightforward. I think we're going to get a lot of opportunity for volatility. Don't forget, the market is actually closed on Friday. So it is a short week, but overall, I think our work is going to be cut out for us. We're going to have plays in a lot of the different industries, and if you didn't watch the video over the weekend, again, just watch the headlines and the pace, how everything is playing out, because even with oil, like I'm saying, we're watching things kind of normalize a little bit, but doesn't mean it's quite over. It's all going to go into timing. So still holding out all the other plays that were in on it, still got the B&O, and even on Friday, I cut out of one of the AXCs. I sold the one in the money at like 300%, and then if you remember these ones, we got them at like 20 and 10 cents. They went up to 60 cents. I sold 10 out of 45 for my initial investment, made them free, and now riding out the rest of those. And then what else did I do? See, this is why we use the stream alerts, baby. You see, it still gets it for me. But I also sold one out of the two Oxys. That one was 100%. We made that play last week. And then I took profit on that turkey play. It was like an August play. A lot of time it went in the money, but I sold one out of two. I made it free, or I sold 4 out of 5, I think, and then I made it free, decided to hold. It was like an 86% gain. Again, even those EWJs are up 50% too, so I was like, all right, let's take some profits on those. But other than that, that's all I did. I'm going to be watching those plays. Again, bank stocks, value inflation plays, Walmart, Altria, even Abivai, and the rest of them, and then wheat and corn. This is where we're going to start. We'll see how everything plays throughout the week. Again, I do think Tuesday is going to be a big event, but combine it there with the earnings, and then after the bank earnings, don't forget, people are going to start getting ready for the next week. That's going to be tech stocks, chip, all of that. And then before you know it, those war headlines are going to hit a little bit less. Everyone's going to react to everything else. And then might be a quiet period for commodities. And then everything might reemerge as we get into middle of May or like early May and see what happens. So that is pretty much it. I hope you're ready. I hope I see you in the morning. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure you post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. And guess what, man? If you ever found a piece of land and you knew there was gold and you knew it was Garrett, what would you do? How would you react? I still don't know. I'm excited, though. Get ready for next week. I love you, Chad. God bless all of you who are watching. Stay in the game. Control the budget. Have enough money for the next move. I can just keep kicking it to you, baby. Now I'm just hyped. It's not even August. Hype, baby.